Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. Remember the bell notification, comment down below, like the channel, and share to get the daily cryptocurrency, XRP, and blockchain technology videos you've come to expect and love on this November the 20th, 2024 daily cryptocurrency video. And if we look at the Bitcoin price, we did hit another all-time high today. We sneaked above $95,987, just below $96,000. And we continue, like we've been talking about, since this big recent pump and up and sideways consolidation now. And it almost looks like a hangman or a plank that they used to walk as the price is tightening. It's starting to leak up, and we're either going to accelerate and the volume's going to come into the upside, and you're going to start to see some big volume candles like this back here come in right here, and it's going to accelerate the price up near $100,000. Or when the next big surge in volume comes in, it's going to have a little bit of a consolidation, and we could have that Bart Simpson head, and then we come all the way back down near that $76,000. So that is, these are the two things I'm watching out for in the short term on Bitcoin, is when this volume, because you can see after this recent volume spike with the post-Trump election news win and the recent 30% move, when this volume does come back in, and really it's been extending this whole time right here. See that? It's got that big hangman looking sideways tight consolidation. And when that volume comes back in, we're either going to come back to the downside with an initial correction target of down here at about $88,000, or even all the way down to that $76,000. Or when that volume comes back in, the price is going to accelerate very quickly to the upside, and we're going to hit that $100,000 and maybe even come all the way up here near $113,000, right? So those are the two things I'm watching out for. When this volume does start to come back in, are we going to accelerate to the upside in another euphoric run up and hit that $100,000 for the first time in Bitcoin's history? Or when the volume comes back in, are we going to accelerate to the downside? And that's what I'm looking for here in Bitcoin. If we look at the XLM price, it's the same thing. You can see the XLM price had this big volume surge. Are we into this tight? Let's go into the tight screen. Into the XLM, you can see the big run up in volume right there that got us our most recent punch and push up to 3.5-year highs. But now we've had the volume steadily decline now, and the price has been just like the Bitcoin price in this up and sideways tightening consolidation, right? It's got a tightening range now. And if you notice, after the first big run up, we had a nice sell-off and then a bigger move and then a stagnation and now a smaller move, right? Is that a topping out pattern? Or is this just a big, long up and sideways consolidation? Because when this volume does come back up, there's going to be a volume push here, and it's either going to bring us all the way up here to 29 cents, 30 cents into this green trading resistance zone as our first target, or we're going to get a nice sell-off in a consolidation and a correction after almost a 200% pump now, where your first initial target would be down here at 19 cents, and then a major flush underneath target would be all the way down here at 13 cents. And those are the two things that I'm watching out for and paying most attention to, is when this volume comes back up, are we going back to the upside up into here, or are we going to have some kind of correction to the downside? And I'll be keeping a close eye on that over the next several days. And something in a short-term pattern that I'd be watching out for in the XLM price would be just drawing some trend lines from your first pump, your second high, and now approaching your third right here. We have 3 hits on the arrow on the upside. Let's get that down here to where it should be. 3 hits right there. And then on the downside, on this up and sideways consolidation, we'll get over here with our industry exclusive perching tool. We got our first hit, then our major support or short-term support right there, and now our most recent bottom right there where the price is currently at now. When this breaks this structure, do we pump to the upside? And if we pump to the upside, you could do a simple targeted move, just in a short targeted move from this last prior breakout at 13 cents up here to the first pump, where we had the first blow off wick pump after about a 70% day. Get that out of there. These always get kind of hard to grab when there's a lot of stuff in the way. Oh my God, get out of there. Let me grab you. And you could come up to a point of a breakout, and that would get you your next target if this does break to the upside, all the way up here at 50 cents, right? Or if we come to the downside, it would be the same thing. If we go with this backwards, not backwards, but the first thing would be we could go from here down to here, and this would be a nice little correction right here if this falls and flushes out of the downside. And you could see that would get you down here near about the 18.5 cents, right, on a correction. But when this volume does come back in, this price is going to have a pretty big move. But that would be what I'm looking at right now in your short-term pattern. And if you break out to the upside, you got your upside target up there at 50 cents and a downside target of 19 cents initially, and then potentially like Bitcoin, if it went to 76 grand, this could have a correction back down to 13 cents. And then if we go into the all-important XRP, this thing is traded more sideways. And like we looked at yesterday, could we be looking at a correction something like this down to in the pink or in the purple type area? Could we be having an initial correction down to say 96 cents, or even a bigger flush all the way down here to 68 cents? Or are we about to pump all the way up to $2.56 with an initial target on the upside of $1.90, with some major overhead resistance from the COVID 2021 high? Because again, just like the other two, you're having a nice consolidation and a pattern starting to form here in the short term. And this is what I'd be looking at for the next breakout, either to the upside or to the downside. You can go from the wick here and just take the points, and you want to get this on this on multiple different hits, and then you could come to the underside of this on the support, on the local support side with our industry exclusive perching tool, and draw it out. And you can see we got a nice almost horizontal bottom. It's slightly uptrending. When it does break out of that, you're either going to the upside when this volume comes back in, because if we zoom out, you can see you have this nice steady stream of volume right there. And then all of a sudden, boom, you have the big uptick, and now the volume's starting to trend down a little bit, right? You see that if we zoom in a little bit closer, you can see the volume. You had that unified, small, steady volume. And then you had, starting on the 7th, you had a little mini pump right here in volume, right there. You had a little mini pump, and then you had your second run up and your biggest pump right there. And then it came down and flattened out. Now the volume's starting to trend up a little bit. But when this volume does, you're going to have another volume spike. And if it's sell volume, you're going to have a nice correction to the downside. But if it's buy volume, when this starts to come back in, you're going to pump up to the upside with your initial target of the $1.90. But this would be my short-term pattern that I'm paying attention to. If I was following this to try to figure out when the next big move to the upside or to the downside is going to take place in the short term, by breaking out of this, you're going to have a hyper move up, or you're going to have a nice hyper correction to the downside. And those are things that I'm paying attention to in the XLM, the XRP, and the Bitcoin price in the short term. If we look at a little bit of the news, if there is any news recently, MicroStrategy increased convertible note sale to $2.4 billion to fund Bitcoin. XRP and Dogecoin among Kraken's new margin collateral assets. Bitcoin hits 94K. XRP rockets 454% in liquidity and balances as bears fuel price rally. So that sounds to me like there was a bunch of shorts that got taken out of the market. Let's take a look at that real quick. Dynamics XRP, when it comes to trading the futures market, thus according to data from CoinGlass, the volume of liquidations of perpetual futures on XRP over the past 4 hours total of 2.57 million, which is currently the fourth largest volume on the entire crypto asset derivatives market, which is more than entertaining about this type of liquidity, is that 17.9% of its long positions, while the entire bulk came from short position liquidation, like we were speculating when we read the headline. A bunch of shorts got bullied out of the market. And when they have to either get liquidated or they cover their losses, those shorts turn into buy orders, right? And it helps push the price up, also known as a short squeeze. As a result, there was an imbalance in XRP during the period under review, with short liquidations exceeding long liquidations by 4.5 times, or 454%, according to CoinDesk. Thus, in these 4 hours, the XRP price once again printed a green candle of 6.34%, reaching a high of $1.15. As you can now see from the data, this was largely due to the forced closing bearish positions on futures for more than 2 million, or forced or bullied out, or getting a margin called. Clearly, going short on XRP is hardly the best strategy right now. Ultimately, the price of the token will continue to rise. Then the sellers have enough money, and it's likely that as long as they keep trying to chase a top in XRP, the price will continue to rise. And that is a very good point, because everyone tries, every time you have a nice 10 or 15% run up, they try to load up on the shorts thinking that's a local top, and then the price goes up 4 or 5%, and then they start to get bullied because they're using it in the futures market, and they're using it on leverage. Like, subscribe, and share. Comment down below. Become member of Jabroni Killer, and you'll continue to get your daily cryptocurrency video every evening of every day, as long as the cryptocurrency market is here. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I say this with peace and love. Jay.